Mel, it is 1st of October.
Oh,
We,
it's
it
not the
is.
first, it's the fourth.
You know what? Why are you start like that? Right. Welcome to Creator Collab, folks. Mel's over there already starting trouble.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
But this is a pretty cool thing. We said we wanted to do a show many years ago, back before I had all this
Mhm.
gray hair. And we finally decided on content, context, and just kind of the idea. That's all we had. We had a framework, but today's the first show, so I'm a little anxious. It's good to see you. It's good to see you there. It's good to see my Hoosier
You too,
friend.
my friend. You too, my friend.
How you been? How you been?
Fantastic. I mean, I have to say, yes, I am in Indiana. I am a Hoosier.
That's a good thing.
The
I'd say
weather.
that negatively. No, that's a good thing.
Hey, listen. I gotta say,
Yeah.
Midwesterners, we are like the neutral people. We love everybody. We're nice to everybody. We're pretty
Oh my
simple.
goodness.
Like, we got Caitlin Clark, Rookie of the Year. Just saying, had to drop that quick little bit. It's kind of fun. So life is good in Indiana. We're good. Things are good. Fall leaves are turning, which simply just means that, we're there. So it's good. Everything's great. We got some friends joining us, which is fantastic. I want to make sure that anyone that's here to hang out with us, make sure you guys, because we love seeing our friends in the comments. But no, you're right, James. We've been talking about this. I will take all the blame for the reason why this has been years in the coming, because I think that you actually kind of had this idea. You proposed it originally, and you're a very persistent person. You're like, I will say, everyone, you need to know, James, first of all, any of you that are watching on my channel,
First of all, is the word that you really want to use persistent before we go? Is that really the word that you want to use?
I'm gonna use that right now. I'm gonna use that today. As they get to know us a little bit better, we might come up with some better words. But for those of you watching on my channel, James has been a great friend of mine. He's been a great advocate of mine. But what's great about James and what I admire about him is he doesn't sit around and wait. He is very much like, go, go, go. Like literally I don't know when it was, like a week and a half ago, you're like, do you finally want to do the show? I was like, yes. And then I'm telling you guys, this was like an afternoon text conversation. And then by that evening, he's like, here's our merch, here's our show, here's the name, here's the graphics. And by the way, are you cool with the website? And I'm like, oh my gosh, holy
true.
smoke.
I appreciate you, my friend. Listen, I had URLs purchased. I had merch.
I admire that about you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad.
I'm just happy to be here with you. I'm just happy to be here with you doing this, because this is your dream. This is your vision. This is your thing. So I'm just happy to be here with you. And like you said, this is our first show.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of figure it out as we go, because that's definitely what you do. And it's kind of what I do. I tend to think things a little bit. I overthink things a little bit, but I'm here for the ride. So
and
yeah. So why don't you tell everybody
folks? So first of all,
I am.
You got the jazz hands, as I call them. Here's the deal. We see folks chiming in. Appreciate you all as well. The idea is really just to have a conversation for creators about creators and how creators can do and be better. Right. It's going to be very ad-libish, very riffish. All those adjectives. I don't know what the word riffish means.
A lot of ish. I like that.
A lot of ish.
I like it.
A lot of ish.
Riffish.
The fact that we're doing this in the afternoon means this is coffee and not scotch. But other folks, Midwest, East Coast, may have already dipped in some things. I'm gonna leave that alone as well.
Nobody's judging. Nobody's judging. Just be here.
End all to be all is supposed to be fun. So engaging and interacting, that kind of thing as well. Before we keep going, and I'm going to get to the comments as well, but I want to bring on someone who we invited to be part of this pilot, part of this first show, so they could add their expertise. Plus, he looks better than me on camera, so it doesn't make sense for me to always be on camera. Look, Chris, don't talk to these people, man, so I don't have to talk to these people. You and Mel have a show, and I'll just do the Wizard of Oz things.
You beautiful people of planet Earth, thank you for having me aboard the airplane. We'll fix the plane in the air before we land it. That's how this works. And Mel, I'm with you. Like anytime you partner with James, look out. There is like the gas pedal. The gas pedal goes down, and you got to buckle up and go. But you know what? I think a lot of creators get stuck, and they're not. Like there's an acronym that Craig Groeschel came up with, and it was called GETMO, and it stands for good enough to move on. And once you start doing a number of these things and you start creating things enough, you'll get better. You're not going to get, shredded in the gym overnight, right? You've got to go, and you've got to stay consistent, and you've got to crank out that stuff. And then one day you're Melanie, Dyann, Howe, and you're James Hicks. And it's all good.
Next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire. No, I just dated myself. As I started saying it, I pulled it back. Listen, we got a global audience. Appreciate everyone. We got folks from Australia here. Listen, it's 5 a.m.
Marianne and
shout out to
House.
Marianne. Oh my goodness.
Winner.
We got Karen here.
Oh, yeah.
We got Joanne. We got a gang of folks. These are all the MBH folks. What should we call? So first of all, what should we call the Mel fans? Because Taylor's got.
What do we call
hers.
we Jennifer might remember Creator Classroom. She there's actually, they came up with a name, and I forget what it is now. It's been a while, but Jennifer might remember. They did come up with the name in the show for a minute. Jennifer from the Creator Classroom, by the way, she's a Canva instructor. She's amazing. So if anybody wants to learn about Canva, make sure you go check out the Creator Classroom. But she says my camera's a touch out of focus, so I want to make sure I'm good. But I don't know.
I thought you were reaching for mosquitoes for a second. I'm not sure. I thought, what was going on there?
Hey, that's a little trick, by the way, everybody. When you got one of those autofocus cameras, it's called we'll call it the mosquito grab. That's funny, James.
Let's give each other a fist bump, and then all of a sudden our cameras are in focus. How about that?
Do you even have mosquitoes in California where you are?
We do,
James?
but not in the fancy neighborhood. So not over here on this. See, let's lock back in. Let's get focused, y'all. Let's get focused. I'm seeing.
There you go. All right, I wore the wrong shirt. I should have worn my focus shirt.
But that is a good shirt that you got on too. That's in the merch store. Y'all can pick up to create. And,
look at all these people in the chat. We got Saskatoon, Canada. Aaron Belaney. Shout out Micro Studio is in the place. We got Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, totally. You thought I was joking, didn't you? You thought I was joking. You even got
like a real show up in here.
Well, let's
real deal.
Let's act like it. All right. So before we went online, and I'm gonna let Mel go because she was trying to tear me up, folks, about this before we went online. Sustainable trends within the content creator ecosystem. I came up with that title after a couple of scotches.
Always a good idea.
And I shared it with Mel and with Chris. I thought it was great. I even got talking points here, but who knows what that is. But sustainable trends within the creator ecosystem. There was some confusion, consternation, whatever big word you want to use about my term sustainable. I've never used that big word before, but let's start there and let's go there. Mel, talk to us a little bit about your thoughts when you hear that title, though.
I mean, like I said, okay, so we were having a little pre-chat during, by the way, anytime you go live, and you have guests, you need to make sure you have a little pre-show so you can check everything. Pre-show. So what James is referring to is we were kind of like, hey, we were having a little fun. And I literally was just like, what does this title even mean? Let's make sure people understand, because I do think that it's interesting because James has an audience that is extremely tech savvy. He's got a great audience. Chris, you've got a great audience, very tech savvy, very entrepreneurial focused. We all have different audiences. And so I think it's always important to kind of level set. Like, what does it even mean? Sustainability, when I hear sustainability, I literally immediately go to the environment, like recycling plastic bottles and separating materials and trying to, limit your eco footprint and all those things. So when I hear about sustainability in the creator space, it might mean something different, right? So I just kind of was saying, hey, let's level set and make sure that we're all on the same page with what the hell are we talking about today? That's goodness. That's all I want to say.
Getting the show demonetized with all this profanity already. Let's make sure that we're okay with that.
When I think about sustainability as it relates to content, I think about content that's going to last past my lifetime. Right. And so I always think about this, and it's why, listen, we're having fun, we're cutting up, and this is all part of it. At the same time, and the reason why I do shows with you two and why I do shows with other people is because I treat this with it's a legacy for me. It really is. Like, after I'm gone, I hope that what I can say might impact somebody in the future, and they might listen to something I said, or watch a 3-minute short on YouTube, and somehow they're impacted, and I'm not even here. And to me, if you create content that lasts, that's a legacy, that's sustainable, I think that in having that mindset, you're not creating disposable stuff or stuff that's created by a robot and not by you and not in your voice. That, doesn't feel sustainable, at least not yet. I'm not saying don't use AI to do that kind of stuff, but I think when I think about the sustainability, that's what I think about. Like, let's create stuff that's going to last. Let's take this, let's have fun, but let's take it seriously in terms of, can I create something that's a little more evergreen than just jumping on the latest thing that's happened or that happened yesterday. By tomorrow, it's over and gone. Does that make sense?
Well, so that's where I wanted it to go, and then Mel can tear me up as well. But sustainable meant long lasting, and you guys have heard me say again, rising above the noise, right? Yeah. And instead of creating something that's just on trend or something that's just in the now, something that actually, one, looks like it's you, that you've actually not only fed it through a GPT or through an algorithm and got that end result and published that. And you've put in your own flair on it. You put your own little twist on it as well. So I know a Chris Stone production. Every time he puts out a TikTok or a reel or whatever the case may be, I can see that he's actually done something behind the scenes to actually make it him. Every time Mel goes online and does her thing as well. Well, obviously because she's got her face on it, but I don't even have to look. I can tell right when creators who care about the craft put something out there to the public and to their communities. That's kind of what I'm saying. Don't just feed something through a program, get the result, and then push that out and expect to quote unquote go viral or quote unquote start gaining influence or whatever the case may be. That's what I mean by sustainability as it relates to this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually really like how Chris mentioned legacy. I think that first of all, two things. I think that what you said about just, you want to create something that's going to last, even if, you decide you're not going to do that anymore and take yourself offline, or God forbid something happens, like, you still want to create something that is truly going to last without the top of your head being cropped off. Because I had to say that. Anyway, we were teasing James about this before the show. That's why I said it. But if you're here to have fun, welcome to the party. But I truly do think that one of the reasons why we do what we do, when people teach, many of the people in the chat, many of the people that are watching this show right now, you're not just showing up to show up. You're showing up because you're trying to make a difference in somebody's life. And here's the deal. You're making a difference in somebody's life today. But what Chris is referring to is, you might make a difference in somebody's life a year from now, 5 years from now, who knows, 10 years from now. I mean, we all can remember things that we saw a number of years ago when online content started to kind of show up. We remember stuff. We have legacy memories. And so I love how you described that, Chris, about you're trying to create a legacy. And then the other thing that I really appreciated was this whole thing about, like, authenticity. Is, AI is great. We've got all kinds of stuff that's happening, but at the same time, is it really sustainable? Are people truly going to want to consume information from a caricature or a facade or a robot? Or, I mean, heck, I had to follow up on a lead in my job today. And literally we spent more time than I've ever spent us all reading this email and trying to decide, is this from a real person or is this a bot spamming us as a company? And I'm like, why are we even spending energy on this? Because that's the world we're living in. That's the world we're approaching. And so I absolutely love that you touched on the whole AI thing. I think that's an interesting conversation that we could probably unpack a little bit as we go through this conversation. But anyway, I love how you prefaced it. Thank you, Chris, for explaining what you mean by being sustainable.
I think a lot of people are in this race to have things done easily for them. And listen, I'm all about creating efficiencies. I'm all about using AI to further what I want to do. But why, if people don't understand, like, most people aren't willing to put in the work that's necessary to be successful. And at the end of the day, if you want to be a podcaster, if you want to be a live streamer, if you have a mission to do X, Y, Z, write a book, speak on more stages, whatever those things are, you have got to put in the work that's necessary to be successful. And no AI on this planet, right, at least right now, is going to give you all of the shortcuts that you can do it next week, next month, next year. And I realize that's not a clickable statement, right? For me to say, hey, you've got to put in the hard work. But unfortunately, that's true. You can use AI to do these things, but if you're not careful, you're just piling your content into this middle mediocrity chasm of content that's just being spewed out there. And if you don't set yourself apart and are patient and tactical about these things, you will just be like wallpaper in this whole world. And James, you talk a lot about rising above the noise, and that has resonated with me ever since I heard you say it at first. And that means you may get a viral video, or you may get X thousands of subscribers, but that's not my goal. And there is no amount of money, no amount of followers, no amount of subscribers that feels anywhere near as good as impacting someone's life. Nowhere near. And that's what I'm here to do. And if I get 10 subscribers or I get 1 million subscribers, cool, but it's not really what I'm here for.
Yeah, the measure of success, I think folks really need to step back and understand what their measure of success is. Right. It should not be in the numbers, meaning the numbers of subs, likes, and things of that nature. It's really, as you say, in the value. The three of us are only here because we are passionate about what it is that we do, and we want to serve and talk to our community. Right. We're not necessarily here for any personal gain, financial gain, whatever the case may be. We're here because we like each other. Well, yeah, we like each other. And we have a little bit of knowledge, and we want to share that knowledge with like-minded folks so everyone can be successful. At the end of the day, that's kind of it. There's no little eyes here. There's no crabs in a barrel kind of thing. And I think when folks realize that, as creators, as folks that are out there with a platform that can be a global platform, as we are right now in Australia, that is so cool that we're in Australia. Okay. But when we have a global platform like that, and when we take this precious commodity of time from someone's day, hopefully a bit of this knowledge, hopefully a nugget from this conversation resonates, and they can take it and just get that 1% better the next time they go have a show, next time they go do something. Like I believe it was the Creator Classroom saying that she's been doing this for over 2 years. She understands her specific niche and has continued to grow and get better every single time. Having conversations like this, I would assume, are the ones that help each person get just that much better each and every single time they go out there and do it. And then they talk to someone else, and they bring somebody with them, right? Instead of us holding this knowledge all to ourselves, being selfish about it and not sharing it, there's no value in that. There's no growth in that. So, all right, off the soapbox. Let's get back to the
Mel, in your experience, do you feel like people get in their heads too much and compare themselves with other people, and that's why maybe that they don't they're like, why am I doing this? I only have 32 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I only have 48 subscribers to my Instagram. Like, what keeps people from thinking the way that we're talking about creating sustainable content? I know I'm flipping the seat around, but I'd be curious to see, what you thought.
You did. It's fine. Yeah. And I'm going to, yes, I will answer that question, but then because that is our first show and you are literally our guinea pig, I'm going to answer that question, but then I'm going to flip the script on you and have you introduce yourself to the audience, because honestly, we skipped that step. We did not ask you to tell everyone who the heck is Chris Stone and why are you here on this earth to make a difference in everyone's lives, which is exactly what you do. But to answer your question, I absolutely agree. I do think that people get in their own heads. It's actually where I spend a lot of my time in my space, is helping people overcome limiting beliefs. And, just I think that often people compare themselves to others, and we even get stuck in the thing of, we watch people because we're inspired by people, right? People are inspired by us, and they look and they think, oh, look at their camera, look at this, look at their gear, they sound so good, they're so comfortable on camera. I'm not there, I'm not ready yet. Well, we've been doing this a long time. We've been doing this for a long time. And I think that what I always try to encourage people is don't compare your getting started to we've been doing this for a long time. So you will get to the place where you are comfortable, but you're never going to be comfortable unless you do the work, to your point, to just put in the practice. It's like going to the gym. It's like practicing a skill. It's no different than learning a new, foreign language. I mean, you're not going to just learn it overnight. And I think that the other thing is that people create this measure. They have this measure of success that is so ridiculous and unfortunate,
right?
Because they're trying to strive. They're measuring themselves on exactly what you just said. Oh, I sent this video out and I only got 2 views or 5 views or 100 views. And they're thinking I should be getting thousands of views. Well, no, because you're still learning the system. You're still learning what your audience even wants from you. You may even still be learning what you want to teach. So your measure of success as you're getting started should always simply be, did you take action? Yes or no? Plus, it's literally pass or fail. So did you take action? Yes, great, you passed, you got an A. Did you not take action? Then you got an incomplete. You didn't do anything. So again, lowering the threshold, I think, is what people need to just kind of like give themselves permission to do. And then when they create certain goals, they can get there, but they've got to be realistic and realize that there are milestones before you get to big goals. So that's what I always try to focus on. And that's what I tell people. But honestly, Chris, again, we did not do you a good service. I will not blame James for this, but I will blame myself for this 100%. Chris, do us a favor. Please, I know that we're multi-streaming, by the way, everybody. So some of you are watching on Chris's channel, some of you are watching on James, and some of you are watching on mine. But we are definitely multi-streaming today on multiple channels. But Chris is truly the guest of the show today. So Chris, do me a favor, tell everybody who you are, what's your background, what do you do? Give them a quick little intro for us.
Yeah, my name is Chris Stone. I have a company called Cast Ahead where we work with motivated entrepreneurs to do a show. Because as you know, James, Mel, most people, they don't want to learn how to do all of the stuff that it takes to create something impactful in terms of a podcast. And we do that for them. All they got to do is go and show up in front of their cameras and their microphones. And we handle all the rest, including repurposing the content afterwards, going live, handling the chat, all that good stuff. And I also co-host a show that goes live on Amazon with my good buddy Jim Fuse, who's in the chat, called Dealcasters. And we go live in the biggest mall in the world and talk about tech and gear and getting past the mind junk of podcasting and how to move forward with what you have and what you might need on Amazon while you're there to further your podcasting, live streaming, virtual presentation. So that's me in a probably extra medium nutshell.
What's an extra medium?
Smedium. That's what it is. Medium.
No, I hear extra medium and I think between medium and large. So we were having like smedium is a small medium, right? So yeah. Anyway.
Okay. So extra medium is between medium and large, and smedium is between small and medium. Awesome.
Correct.
Because I feel like some days, after I had a big lunch, like I feel
you're a miarge.
I feel large.
Miarge.
But mostly
I'm
I'm extra medium. Mostly I'm extra medium. After Thanksgiving, I might go XL. I don't know.
An extra medium. Oh my goodness,
guys! I'm sorry. You're on a show with me. Sometimes it's going to go off the rails. We got to count on James kicking us back.
I love it.
We just gonna bring it back. We gonna bring it back. Appreciate that. And I did make the assumption that folks knew who you were, or kind of hearing you speak, they would be like, "Oh, this guy knows a little something about what he's talking about." But we'll get all those.
Well, sometimes on podcasts that seems to be the first softball people throw out, right? Is, oh, well, why don't you tell everybody about yourself, right?
Nah.
And to be honest, I think that needs to come later. You got to build trust. You got to earn the here's who I am, here's what I do, right? And so I think lot of people, I don't know who invented this sort of like checklist for what you need to do on a podcast and say, well, you've got to do this. And then, and then that question of tell our audience who you are and what you do. It's like, I don't think that, I mean, maybe you do an introduction, but like, I think people are smart enough to figure out who I am. They're seeing these logos down here. They're seeing all that kind of stuff. They're smart enough. But I'm honored that you gave me that platform, though, for sure.
Well, what's interesting is I do tend to kind of lean towards giving somebody the opportunity to say whatever they want to say and make sure that the audience understands like who they are. But you're absolutely correct. Like I think that there's a lot of value in just getting into the value. Truly, like let's just get to 100%. It. Like, especially when you're a guest on somebody's content, the people who are listening are the followers or the original audience members, for example, of a podcast, because that's the example you used. If I have a guest on my podcast, then the people who are listening to that podcast are people who are following my podcast, know who I am. They should already trust that I'm going to bring on a guest of value. So we could just get right into it. Now, wherever we provide the opportunity for that guest to promote themselves or explain what they do can come later. You're absolutely correct. It's funny because I've really never done it that way. However, I've also listened to podcasts where at the end they say, now tell everybody where they can learn more from you. Follow. So it can come at the end. But either way, I personally still, I understand what you're saying. People are savvy. They'll figure it out. But people are, again, no offense to any human being on this earth, but people are also lazy, myself included.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to hear something, but it's like at the same time, unless you really, truly tell me where I need to go, I may not go there because I might be on a walk. Most of the time I listen to podcasts, I'm on a walk or I'm wherever. And I may be driving and my phone's not, I'm not going to pay attention to that. But if I hear you speak specifically to what you do or who you are and why you're here, it's going to resonate a little bit more with me. Plus, it's always a matter of respect to your guests to give them the opportunity to say it how they want to say it. You know what I mean? That's just my thing. But it's interesting, James. We'll think about it. We'll take Chris's thoughts here, and we'll think about because this is the guinea pig situation. Well, I mean, we are literally
fixing the plane.
Yeah, well, so I guess I'll add this, right? There is no set rule, and I think kind of this was referenced as well, right? Each iteration, each time, each session, each different type of engagement is different, and there's a book called the YouTube or the Content Creator Bible, but that really there's no precedent saying that you have to do it this particular way. And I would never, even as a coach or as someone who goes out and does consulting, I would never want to tell someone that you have to do this thing of digital content creation a specific way because it may not resonate with you and your community, right? Be flexible, be able to ad lib. I don't think there was anything in error of what we have done thus far. Actually, again, I think it just brings out and shows the reality and the honesty of this show right here as well. Just the fact that we're bobbing and weaving and going back and forth and then going to try to bring it back to the subject matter. So, this is what we do. I think by being too rigid, having too many notes written down, having too much stuff that's, again, automated can be a detriment to actual engaging with the audience and engaging with the conversation and actually having an enjoyable time while doing this. That's why I think a lot of folks actually wear themselves out and say, I'm quitting content creation, or I'm quitting YouTube, or I'm quitting doing the thing, because they get so bogged down in it has to be this way. It has to be 60 seconds long to get monetized. It has to be 16, right? It has to be all. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah. I think you're hitting on some really good stuff there. So, speaking of our plan, I haven't looked at our document the entire time we've been here.
I can't.
James did all this work. He did all this work. He made a Notion document. But I mean, James, I'm saying, like, keep us flowing with the way where you want it to flow, because you had a vision, and I don't even have it up right now because I'm a little bit worried about my internet. I'm a little bit worried about anyway.
Well, you got Jennifer, some storms in your area. We see you fluctuating a little bit. You got some storms in that neck of the woods. But let's do this. I want to go back to a couple of the talking points, and then we'll get to some of the comments that are coming in as well. Appreciate everybody for joining in as well. So we talked a little bit about how to create content that rises above the noise, that's different and matters to you and your community, things of that. The big conversation thus far, or within the last 24, 48 hours, a big conversation was around what YouTube is doing with not medium videos, but tall updates to shorts. Does this matter for you two in your community and what you push out in terms of content? And do you think this is actually is this relevant news that should be shared, that folks should grasp onto this? Because instead of just the 60-second shorts that we have right now, which can be quite engaging, can be quite profitable as well if you're monetized, right? I mean, there's a lot of pros to it, but by making it now 3 minutes long, do you see value in that piece and some of the other things that have come out of YouTube from their creator conference that they had not too long ago? Dr. Stone.
Well, I think anytime YouTube is allowing you to create some other form of content or put something on a community tab or any of those things that are fantastic for a lot of creators, I think it's absolutely not only worth paying attention to, but testing out for your particular channels that you have, and really, giving it a true and proper go. Otherwise, I mean, listen, it hasn't been launched yet for anyone. I mean, I'm sure somebody's beta testing it somewhere, but we don't truly know until you give it a go. And will we give it a go? You bet we're going to give it a go. But I do know one thing, and my take on this, listen, you guys want to disagree with me, please, in the chat, please let me know if you disagree or not. What will not change with 3 minutes mediums, tall updates, whatever these things are called, 3 minute shorts is what I'm going to refer to them, because that's what everybody kind of understands, is that if you don't provide value immediately when someone hits play, they're gone. So if you think you can't communicate what you're going to communicate in 59 seconds, is 3 minutes going to be a huge difference or not to you? You still, out of the gate, have to grab someone's attention and provide value. That will not change. They're not going to be automatically more patient because they're hitting a video that's 2 minutes longer. They're not going to, it still is the platform. It still is. I will say this, YouTube rewards people for, keeping people around for a longer period of time, right? That's the whole thing, is watch time. And so you are not only, this is not just an easy way to just elongate your content. This is going to be more difficult for you to keep someone there for a longer period of time. Therefore, if you're going to really give this a go, you got to give, more than 59 seconds worth of value when you do provide these things. That will not change. They're still going to reward you for watch time, and you still will need to grab someone's attention for the length of whatever video you're uploading. It doesn't matter if it's a 1.5 hour podcast or if it's a 12-second blender, blending an iPhone, whatever you're doing. You still have to do that and grab people's attention. That's my take. I don't know if you guys agree, disagree, please.
I love that you brought up blending an iPhone, because I actually kind of forgot about that. But listen, I think that, so it's my understanding.
Every time I watch those videos, and you guys are talking about that.
Oh, I know.
Seriously.
Okay.
I have to, like, literally, the squirrels are attacking me right now, so I'm gonna fight them off. But we're gonna stay on topic here. Here's the deal. So I agree with a lot. I agree with a lot of what you said. I think that I also love what Marianne said. So if you could pull that comment back up, James. Marianne said, I say there's no harm in being an early adopter. I've seen in the past people who get left behind. Try it and see, right? I love that she said this, because I have even fallen into this trap. Like, Instagram used to be so simple, and then all of a sudden they start adding all these things and reels and stuff. And I'm like, how do I do this? Like, I still to this day can't actually create the same type of reel. Like, I can pull someone else's voice in, I can do all these things. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm so overwhelmed because I feel behind. So I love what Marianne said about just keep trying new stuff. The reason why these platforms are presenting us with new opportunities is because ding, 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 listen up. If you're multitasking, they want us to do them. And if you do what the platforms want, they will reward you. So, however, I think that there's a lot of value in what Chris just said. In that doesn't necessarily mean you need to completely overhaul and change everything. I totally agree with what Chris said when he said, it doesn't matter if it's a 60-second short or a 3-minute Bermuda short, which I love Jennifer from Chris. That's freaking genius. Thank you, Jennifer, for saying that. But Bermuda shorts, 3-minute long, right? Or 10-minute pre-recorded video or a 1-hour live stream. It doesn't matter. The point is that Chris said, you have to keep people interested. So if you can keep people engaged and it only takes you 60 seconds, then just do 60 seconds. If you need 3 minutes and you can offer value, like mind-blowing value for 3 minutes, then do a 3-minute Bermuda short. But if you need 10 minutes to get your point across, then go create a video, make a short to promote, tease people, whet their appetite, and then drive traffic to your longer video. So again, the game is not changing. It's just that YouTube is presenting us with one other layer of opportunity to do it however you need to do it. So for me personally, Chris, I am starting to do shorts. I've not really done shorts, but I am starting to create them. And I struggle a little bit with keeping it within 60 seconds, which I know doesn't come as a shock to anyone listening to me right now because I am still talking. But I also think that I just sometimes need a little bit more time. But also remember, everyone, you don't have to use all 3 minutes. You don't have to use all 3 minutes. And the monetization rules are the same. There's a lot, there's what I saw that came out yesterday was simply that YouTube listened to the creators, and the creators are begging for a little bit more time. So they said, hey, we're going to give you a little bit more time if you need it. But the point here that Chris is making is if you need it and only if you need it, don't sabotage people's time by just wasting their time with 2 extra minutes of nonsense. So if you can get it done in 60 seconds, do it. If you need 3 minutes and you can offer value, take all 3 minutes. Boom.
Man, she's over. God damn, I need to put some music in here. Well, we got some triggers here. Chris and I know maybe I'll play one of them. All right, let me chime in here. But this is good stuff. So, Creator Classroom is coming in hot. Marianne is coming in hot. I mean, these folks know the Bermuda shorts. That you should trademark that right now.
Yeah.
Creator Classroom.
That's almost as good as Medium.
That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better.
Bermuda shorts is pretty genius.
Here's my thought on this as I wave my Apple Pencil at everyone's face, like an old teacher, right? Depending on the use case, where'd she go? Oh my gosh, did she fall over?
She's fixing her blurry camera, maybe.
Oh, she's talking to a dog. Does she know we're live? Okay.
Yes.
As you know, we have this show. My thought is use cases.
I'm listening.
All right, so we've all created shorts here on the panel right now, and we do our thing when it comes to creating shorts as well as shorts and reels and things like that. And again, adding our own flavor, adding our own ad lib, making it look very personal. My idea around these longer shorts, 3 minutes long. I'm not going to use all 3 minutes, but the use case that I'm gonna do. I'm not sure if you watch Shannon Sharp's show, Nightcap or Club Shay Shay. So they're 3 hours long. Or even think of one of the sessions that I do, Team No Sleep, right? Typically, we're about an hour and a half. What I'm going to do is take 60, 90, maybe 120 seconds from that, a main topic or main item or kind of almost like a sizzle reel.
Yeah.
And turn that into the short, begin a very compelling piece of the conversation, boom, that then points you to the longer form piece of content. So it doesn't have to, again, be 3 minutes. It's not always going to be a whole bunch of loud pops, loud bangs, a lot of graphics, a lot of transitions, but it's going to be the conversation that hopefully, I use this analogy a lot. I'm kind of like a drug dealer, right? So I'm gonna give you a little bit, then you come back for more when you want the rest. I got to come up with another analogy, but that's the idea behind what I see for the use case. Good Lord, definitely not gonna be. Geez, she put. Show's gone off.
Is that your drug dealer look, Mel?
Show's gone off the rails, folks.
I got a real pencil in my hand. Number 2. It's number 2,
Nice.
Ticonderoga. Like, come on.
Get
Sorry,
off my
James. Go
lawn.
on.
Number 2 pencil.
My bad.
We're going to need Creative Classroom to come on screen here and take my place because I can't even deal with this anymore. That's
James,
my use case
I think
for
what you're
longer
saying,
shorts, and I want to hear your expert opinion there, Dr. Stone.
I think, again, what is not changing in all of this is who your audience is, who you're serving, and how to solve their problems. Okay?
Yes.
So if your audience might be more, acclimated to hit play and watch a 2-minute and 38-second video. Like, the beauty of this, you guys talked about making rules. These are some rules, right? That you got to, but look at the platform that YouTube allows us to be on, to create. And so, okay, let me test out some things. Is this resonating with the community that I've built? Do I even have a community to build? This is a way for you to do that, to say, okay, is my content in 59 seconds resonating with people? Maybe it's not. Maybe it needs to be elongated. Maybe you have to do a few more things. This gives you, like, don't look at it as a way to constrict you. Look at it as an opportunity to serve your audience. Think about them, put yourself in their shoes and go, all right, if I see this on YouTube, will I hit play on this? How can I grab their attention? How can I serve them? How can I solve their problems? Because if it's 3 minutes long, or if it's 58 minutes long, or if it's 3 hours like Shannon Sharp's show, it's like that is serving your audience, and it doesn't matter what kind of capsule that it is, if you have your audience in mind. Does that make sense?
I think it makes so much sense. And honestly, like, if you really think about it, this is one of those rules of marketing or sales or relationship building that has literally it has never changed. Pre-YouTube, pre-shorts, mediums, Bermuda shorts, extra larges, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, this rule what you just laid out, and I know we're saying there is no true rule. The only rule is that you gotta be genuine, and if you 2 people, or you and 100 people, or you and 1,000 people have the same interest in mind, and you have something to offer to them that's valuable, whether it's in a room, whether it's in a church, whether it's on a YouTube video, a live, a 60-second short, or a 3-minute short, it doesn't matter. The thing is this simple. You have something to offer, and they want to hear it from you. It's always been that way. Like, I mean, we could get all weird and like talk about, I mean, literally, we're talking like centuries. It's been that way. So it's never changed. It's just that the medium, or the way we go about it, the way we get there, the way we deliver it, we have even more opportunity, even more reach, because you could still go speak to people physically in your coffee shop, in your community, whatever. But you also have, like we said, we have the whole world here. I mean, Marianne's here from Australia, and anybody else that's international, speak up. I mean, I know we have lots of people who will consume this piece of content that are not local to us in the United States. So again, you have even more opportunity, but the rule of bring value, attract the right audience, give them what they need, do your thing, they're going to get their thing. That's not changed at all.
I want to ask you before we go on, we'll make sure that you're okay. And then I'll bring Chris back, because folks were asking again in the comments. I didn't bring them up. I just want to make sure before I bring the people back that you're okay. Jesus, Lord.
I'm totally fine. Come on. Why were you even worried? I was looking for my pencil.
This is the best show ever.
It's
automatically the best show ever.
And by the way, my pencil is almost always right here, and I had to find it. It fell. I had to find it. I had to get it down there on the floor. So it is what it is. I had to get my pencil.
She's like the cool preacher. She just got done off the content creator pulpit, and she put on the shades, man. That's
drinking
incredible.
Tito's in the communion. Okay, let me stop.
By the way, if you start blowing up anybody that knows James and you have his cell phone, start texting him right now, because those cool glasses he's wearing will start talking in his ear, and he will have to take them off.
I turned them off. I turned them off. They're not on right now.
Learn that lesson. Where'd you learn that lesson? I used to text James in the middle of his streams, and he'd be like, "Oh my God." He'd be like, and finally had to rip them off because I'm in his ear going like, "Get it together, Hicks. What are you doing?"
They're not on right now. I've unplugged. I've unplugged.
Mm-hmm.
Let
but
me
just to dovetail on what Mel was saying, though, I want to do this.
Okay.
If you're hearing what she's saying, and is like, there's never been a better time for someone who has a niche, whatever you want to call it. I don't care if it's like underwater basket weaving only in Nebraska, or if it's, whatever. I mean, I'm talking niche of a niche. There's never been a better time for you. And people are like, oh my, people look at these. We talked about, comparing ourselves to others. If you have a niche, you get, you're into Pokemon cards, or you're into, whatever. It's like there's never been a better time for you as a content creator. It is just absolutely bonkers. The opportunities that somebody has to be heard and seen by not leaving their house is just massive. And that means you got to put in the work. We talked about it earlier, right? You can't just like automatically start doing something and it's, overnight going to be amazing. But man, if you just apply these sustainable things to what you're doing, see how I'm bringing that back, James?
See how you
I love it. I love you.
There we go.
God, I love it.
If you apply these sustainable things, like this doesn't, Billy Thorpe here is in the chat. This guy is like this insane content creator. And he probably did 3,000 product videos this week. Okay. This guy rode a seam and took it and is going. And like, we have stories of friends that we know. And listen, I'm not talking just about, numbers of followers, numbers of subscribers, or even money. I'm talking about success, and success doesn't always mean financial. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so this is a fantastic opportunity for you to get past the mind junk of creating. And if you don't love what you're doing, you're not going to do it. And so you have to find something that you love that you're doing. And it can be really, like we talked about, getting weird. Right. But if you like there's great, it's a great time to be a weirdo, because you can do a lot of great content on YouTube and TikTok, Yeah. So, I don't see a lot of excuses for people not to flip on the camera, not to flip on their microphone and get on there. A lot of this stuff is free, and it's insane to me how people don't take advantage of doing it and not going live. I know we need to talk about leveraging live video, but like, listen, this video right here is live, and we've had cameras go wobbly. I almost sipped coffee out of a cup I shouldn't, sip out of.
We're all friends here. No,
listen, I'm just joking. But like, live video is how people will see you, because it is you. I've met Mel before, social media marketing world, and when I met her, I already knew her. She already knew me. And it was like, this is the same person that I know right here. James, same thing. And so that's just the way to, if you do something that's over processed, and like I always when I work with my clients, I tell them, we start with a live video. Mm-hmm. And because chances are when you record anyway, you're doing it in one take. So like, let's just go live. And I don't know why people just all of a sudden pucker up when that happens. It's like, boom, we go live. Your clients, the people that you want to impact, they're seeing you as you. There's nothing better than that. And then once you have that recorded, you can turn that into like millions of pieces of content that will last a lifetime. And so I think when it comes to leveraging live streaming, that's where we start. And then that's the center. And then it goes out from there.
I tell you what, that's good stuff. And I want to using my analogy again, I'll bring the plane in with that topic right there. But I did want to put this up. Shouts out to Mr. Cox for joining us as well. But Billy was saying, listen, yeah, the numbers that you said, he probably did do, a couple of thousand product reviews and product videos just this morning, but turning that into sustainable business with a modest number of followers on each platform, but yet and still he's out there making business. He's taking care of his family. He's doing it because he loves it. He's recognized as an influencer and as a subject matter expert in everything he talks about. He was talking about, what was he talking about? I saw one earlier today. Billy was talking about like chargers or something, and I thought I knew a lot of stuff. Billy Thorpe is pretty cool. So there's that. Bringing the plane and talking about live streaming and talking honestly about the whole premise of the creator collab. One, you don't have to do this alone. That's right. And I think a lot of folks have that hang up amongst themselves that one, yeah, this is hard. It is, right? Because there's a lot of moving pieces, but it's not out of reach, right? You just, once you learn the equipment, once you learn the infrastructure, once you learn the platforms and the tools, listen, we got Ecamm, we got StreamYard, we got Restream. Right now, we got about 4 or 5 platforms running at the exact same time, going out to every social network on the planet, literally, and haven't had any issues. Knock on wood. Watch right now, something happens. There's only been the storms happening in the Hoosier state over there, but
easy.
Right. That is complicated to do. But again, back in the day, I may be dating myself to what Chris was saying. It's much more seamless to integrate. I don't have to go out and actually do the coding piece. I don't have to actually do pulling all the levers and things of that. I just have to make a few requests to this platform to connect to this right. It's very straightforward for the creator to actually become a global entity. So get that out of your way. Turning on the lights, pressing record, turning on the cameras, turning on the microphones and doing that. You get it and you set it and forget it, right? Learn your equipment before you actually go out there and do the things so you can be prepared when things go wrong. But again, don't be intimidated by the equipment because Mel, you're a huge proponent of this, right? What was your thing? Be crappy but scrappy? No.
Oh, look, you got to start scrappy, but scrappy's not crappy.
Okay, I got it
like
backwards.
Scrappy doesn't mean crappy. Like, listen,
I gotta get the crappy.
Lately, I have thousands of dollars of equipment in here. Like, I have more equipment than I'm actually, quite frankly, I won't say it out loud. Quite frankly, how much money I have in this room right here. It's terrible. But listen, lately, I've been enjoying just using this right here with my wireless microphone to create videos because it's easy and I can do it wherever I can do it outside where I feel free and I feel you don't need anything. Everybody has one of these. And if you don't, you're probably not even watching this video in the first place. But if you are, you have one of these. So if you have one of these, you have a content machine in your hand. These phones cost a lot of money and 95% of the cost is the camera inside of that piece of equipment. And you have an amazing piece of equipment. So the equipment is always everyone's excuse, the quality, whatever. And that's just a bunch of crap, quite frankly. And so listen, here's the thing though. I love what Chris said. I love how Chris said, start with live, because while it is probably the scariest place to start, he's absolutely correct. And a lot of people were chiming in on the comments saying that live video is truly how you build a relationship. It's how I listen, for years, I only created live videos. I didn't do the full strategy. I didn't create the shorts. I didn't create the pre-recorded videos. I only did live, and I was still able to build an audience, and I was still able to make thousands of dollars selling courses, teaching people to do stuff only by going live. And live was easy for me. It literally is as simple as using one of these applications. Pick and choose your one. They're all amazing. They literally, truly are all fantastic. Some of them are simpler than others. Some of them are really fancy. Pick and choose whatever you want. Click the button and just freaking get out there and go live and start building an audience and start building a relationship. Get to know your audience. Understand the challenges that they have. And why I like live is because they are literally talking to you. They are literally speaking to you. They are telling you their problems. They're telling you their questions. And you are literally creating a content strategy in the middle of creating content. Like, it doesn't get better than that. It does not get better than that. And so live video that's why I'm so passionate about it, because just like you said, Chris, I met you. I literally walked up. I was like, Chris Stone, what's up, dude? You and I had never talked. We had never really even communicated, other than like maybe a couple comments here and there. But I walked up to you. I'm pretty sure I gave you a hug. And I was like, what is up? Like, it's so
I'm a
great to
hugger.
meet you.
We hugged.
Same with Jim Fuse. Same with James Hicks. James Hicks and I, same
you
thing.
Slapped
Finally
me the
met
first
him.
time. No, you slapped me when we met.
I may have smacked you a little bit. You may have deserved it. I don't know. We might have been at the bar. I'm not sure. But my point is this: if you can show up on live video, I think it was Jennifer that said it. Somebody else said it too. It's the most authentic way to show up online, because it's not edited. It's not processed, as you said, Chris. It is literally you, real and raw. There it is. It doesn't get better than that. And this is all about building trust. You can build trust. You can create attraction with edited videos, but you cannot build trust the way you can build trust with a live video. So I love that, Chris, you start with all of your clients and say, we start with live video. I totally agree with you. And the barrier of entry to what James was saying is nothing. Same with creating a podcast. I remember researching a podcast years ago, and I was like, I'm going to create a podcast because it sounds great. And then I researched it. I was like, what's this RSS crap? Like, what? Oh, file this and process. Like, I was like, whoa, this is way too much for me. Now you can record a podcast on your phone and click a button and you have a podcast episode out there. It's that simple. Like, the barrier of entry has never been simpler. So to your point earlier, Chris, now is the time. If you've been sitting and waiting and kind of holding back, stop. Do it now. Now is the best day. Yesterday was a better day to get started. Tomorrow's the worst day ever. Today's the best day. So get going.
I always equate it to, I'm a huge Miles Davis fan. I'm a huge, I'm really into mid 60s era bop. And like, one of the things that Miles Davis worked on with any of the bands and artists that he worked with is, he said the practice is for the stage. He said they never rehearsed. Like, they went on the stage and they went. And the reason is because that magic that you hear in Sketches of Spain or any of these fantastic Miles Davis records, that magic that you hear, that was in one take, and it was only going to happen for that moment. And if you're rehearsing that, you're missing it. That's and so eventually, when you do that enough times, you're recording albums that live on past you. And so I take that mentality, and I think a number of these people in the chat, and if you do, please let me know. Give me a 1 in the chat on this. I am a recovering perfectionist. Okay, I have a real problem with perfectionism. It's massive, and it really. I was like, believe it or not, as like goofy as I can be sometimes, saying and and all these things that I say was a real crutch for me to go and do content. And so going live, that I forced myself to go live. And the reason why is because that got me through the perfectionism. There's a 1. And I'm seeing 1s. And so if you go live, it's done. Like when you go speak on a stage, Mel, you don't put a recording of yourself up on the stage and have people watch. No, you go walk up to the stage and you take the stage with the microphone and you speak to people, and you've got the chance to go live. It's different. It's a different energy. And if you played that video, everybody's going to be like, what is this? This is a video of Melanie, Dyann, Howe. Why am I even here? Like, where is she? So I think if you treat it like that, you'll power through that perfectionism. You'll create more content. You'll do more things with that live thing. I feel like we are just preaching here, James. Take the pulpit away from me.
Well, the doors of the church are open. Bring ye all ye ties to the store. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Fuse says whatnot. That was the other thing I used to say. I used to say whatnot all the time. And Jim Fuse, my brother, Jim Fuse, said, and this is the other thing. You talked about community. You talked about surrounding yourself and collaborating with other people. Collaborate with people that will give you iron sharpening iron, that will help you to get better, because you always have an opportunity to do things better, right? And so Jim and I, we work on each other. Like Jim goes, "Hey, Chris, you know what you say too much? What not?" And you say it way too much. And I'm like, okay. And of course, you know, you don't love to hear
Dang.
stuff like that, but like, those are things you just have to take on. Listen, my voice is not for everyone. Our voices are not for everyone, right? Some people might not like the way I
got
look.
a little
I don't
extra
care.
processing in mind just to kind of bring up the button. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like, you know, we have to be okay with someone offering us, you know, constructive criticism, because, you know, for Jim, he was like, he wants to make me better. I want to make him better. When you surround yourself with people like that, don't ask your husband or your wife or your partner or your mom or your dad how your show is. Ask somebody who's going to tell you the truth to help you get better.
Wow.
And that is you surround yourself with people like that, because those people, you know, and if somebody asks you, "Hey, how do you feel about my show?" You got to be ready to say, "Hey, listen, do you want me to tell you how good your show is, or do you want me to tell you what I think you might need to work on?" Because sometimes people aren't ready to hear that. You know, you can go, you know, "I think you need to be doing this. I think you need to be doing this." And you can hurt some feelings that way. So you got to be careful, you know, there. But I think in a lot of ways, and we're going in a million different places here, but I think it's important as creators, when you're collaborating with people, that you surround yourself with someone that's not just going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to help you get better.
My goodness.
I want to
go ahead, because ladies first. No, I'm over here like geez, she's acting like. I'm so glad that I got multiple recordings of this, right? So I got like isolated recordings of that. So if one blew up, I got it somewhere else, because that right there, in about 2 hours, folks, that's going to be all over the internet. That's going to be on the Facebook, the TikTok.
I'm sorry, I get heated.
That glitch right there of the MDH, that's going to be everywhere. I forgot what I was going to say now. Go.
Okay, so here's what I love. I love what you just said, because honestly, when we're talking about sustainable content that's going to be out there forever. Listen, everybody, you put something out there, even if you delete it, it does not mean that somebody didn't screenshot it or record it or whatever. Like, I'm having this conversation with my freshman daughter all the time. Like, everything you put out there could be out there forever. So it's always sustainable in a way. But what's interesting is that I think that part of being sustainable and maintaining sustainability by putting information out there. By the way, I got to say hi to Park Bros. Lawrence Wilson's in the house. Good to see you here. Listen, the longer your content's out there, the more subject you are to criticism. It's as simple as that. So again, this is a long game. This is a long game. It's part of what Chris was saying. You got to put the work in, and part of the work is building thick skin. Just the other day, I put a video out and somebody commented, and it was like, it was kind of like, I mean, it was I actually laughed at it, and I was like, oh man, I could respond to this in so many ways, because they didn't actually give me anything truly productive. They just simply like shared their opinion about my style. And I was like, thanks for watching my video, and thanks for your unsolicited feedback. And that's the thing. So much of what we do, we're soliciting positive feedback. We want positive feedback. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're perfectionists, because we want the affirmation about what we're doing, and this effort we're making is worth something. But there's always going to be somebody that you are not a good match for. And guess what? The longer you're doing this, and the longer those videos sit out there, the videos that are 5 years old, 10 years old, even a year old, someone's going to discover them that isn't your style, who feels a need to give you that feedback. And sometimes, to Chris's point, it's going to be constructive. It's going to be productive feedback. But then there's just times where you're just like, thanks, dude. Whatever. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by for the engagement. Oh, he's going to bring it up.
So perfectionism is not sexy.
Exactly. But listen, here's the deal. Here's my point. God, here's my point. Part of being sustainable online is understanding that you might put a video out there. Like, if you scroll down, there's some old videos, and they when they were original, they got great feedback. I mean, like really, really, really positive, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. But the longer they're out there, they might get outdated. I'm not going to delete those videos, because creating that truly put me in a weird place and actually boosted my, me over 100 subscribers was a video about how to use your iPhone to create a checklist in your notes app. Literally all it was is as simple as put a note together, create bullets, and make those bullets the circle dots. That's it. That video like boosted and put me on the map, if you will. Well, guess what? Now people watch that video and most people are like, oh, well, that's silly because I just use my to-do list or reminders or whatever. Why would I use notes? So that content is somewhat subjective to being irrelevant. So it's maybe not in this sustainable piece, but I'm not going to delete the video. I'm going to leave it out there.
Yeah.
So part of being sustainable is also understanding like some of what you do may one day become obsolete. So what you need to do instead is the way you stay sustainable, which everyone should try to say that 3 times really fast. I dare you. Is to keep creating content and to create updated content, update the stuff, create new news. We're talking about shorts that are now 3 minutes long. We're basically giving you fresh information. So stay fresh. Anyway, I kind of loved what Chris said because the whole negativity online, the longer you're online, the more subjective you're going to be to trolls and that kind of feedback that sometimes is productive and sometimes, quite frankly, it's just simply not. You have to let it go. That's it.
Learn whose opinions matter and whose don't, is what Kevin Cox said.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good stuff.
Love that. Love that, Kevin.
I mean, it's like I think I'm speaking more about the circle of people, you know, yourselves and you know, but I think people online are going to say some things, and I think sometimes are we doing the fist pump, or are you just are we focusing?
She's grabbing the mosquitoes. She's grabbing the mosquitoes.
What's going on? I don't know what's going on over here, guys. I'm sorry.
I mean, I found that it's a lot easier for people to put some disparaging comments in on YouTube, especially than you know, the super positive ones. And the ones that are super positive, like that was a lot of, you know, if somebody says something really positive about a particular video that we've done on YouTube or whatever, I mean, that took a lot for that person to say something positive. You know, it's almost like Yelp reviews. It's like, people will be like, well, you know, the service kind of sucked and the eggs weren't done, you know, like I wanted them to be. Like they want to say that, and it's easier for them to say that and complain about something than it is for them to say, this was great. Denise, I thought, was a great server, and, you know, the atmosphere was clean, even the bathroom. Like I just feel like people would rather say the bathroom was disgusting and, you know, say something else or throw mud. I think sometimes in those kind of things. And I think I take, you know, it took me a while because at first it was like, ooh, that kind of hurt a little bit, you know? And then I'm like, this person's got problems, you know, if they're complaining about, you know, something that's just stupid on my video. So anyway.
And I would say, don't let those crabs in the barrel, as I called them before, deter you from doing the thing. Right. We talk about, again, getting out of your own way and going out there, pressing record, pressing the go live button, recording the audio podcast, whatever it is, creating content for your community without hesitation of worrying about it being perfect, because perfectionism isn't sexy. Like Mel has a video about that on her channel. But
it's boring.
It is. And that's okay.
Perfect is boring.
That's okay.
Totally true.
Right. You can tell I'm not perfect. Listen, I'm over here. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Oh, geez, I am going to have a stroke, though, if she keeps doing that.
Live hide and seek.
Chris Stone, you were our first guest for Creator Collab for a reason, right? We knew that you would bring some value. We knew you'd bring a lot of value, and it would be a very interesting, engaging conversation. Somebody was asking where we were live. We are live on YouTube. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on everywhere. Goodness gracious. I think we're on a little Facebook action as well, right? So we are everywhere that the community is. And like I say, in 2 hours, there will be some shorts of Mel going through her glitch that she did a few minutes ago. And it's going to be great. Listen, I'm gonna do a master. It's gonna be a masterpiece. Well,
can't wait.
It's gonna be.
I can't wait.
Some of that's gonna be in it. It's gonna be. I'm already over here planning. It's gonna be dope. Every 2 weeks is what we wanted to do this, right, Mel? But then again, life interjects. Life comes in the middle sometimes. So what we're going to do, folks, in the community, we're going to continue to try to bring this valuable content, bring special guests on. It might just be me and Mel. It might just be Chris and Bell. It might just be me and somebody else. Who knows? Because who knows what tomorrow will bring. But the idea is to have a collaborative environment where the community can interject and talk to us, and we can talk to them. And hopefully at the end of the day, at the end of 60 minutes, somebody got some value out of the conversation. Mel,
I think so. Listen, I'm excited about this show. We were joking in the beginning. If you're just now tuning in, make sure you go back and watch the beginning. But James and I have talked about this. This is really, like you said, it's really just kind of like, think about it as like coffee talk in tech, or Tito's in tech. I don't care. Ooh, that's a great name, James.
Well, yeah, that's copywritten name there. Again,
my own channel is going to have that one.
She leaned back on the mic. Dang.
Yeah, she's looking back at the Tito's because it's right there. That's why she's looking back.
So what happens? Hey, the beauty is in the live, right? So here's the thing. We are here to have conversations with you. It's about a conversation. So the whole point, and we need you to show up too. So come back, make sure you are. So Jennifer from the Clear Your Classroom said, Mel, can you attach both these creators' info in your description of the show? Absolutely. So you will be able to connect with all of us. Listen, Chris has amazing stuff. He's doing amazing things out there. James is doing amazing things out there too. We're all a little bit different in the way that we show up and what we talk about. But at the same time, we are creators. And that's what this is all about. Heck, one of you might be on our show one day. I mean, honestly, truly, one of you may be a guest on our show. So we are just here to basically have conversations about being creators, and we're here to collaborate. We're here to kind of be your facilitators, your leaders, and help you along. We're going to, provide guests that are going to help you feel inspired, but also you're going to learn new things. But at the same time, the conversation is all about you. That's why this is a live show, because it's about the conversation. So we definitely want to collaborate with you. So definitely, if you're watching this replay, let us know what you thought about it. If you got this far, you get an award, and we love you. But at the same time, make sure that you are absolutely subscribed to all of us, because Chris is doing great things out there too. I love you, Chris. I love what you're doing. I think I met you, actually. I think the first time I ever talked to you was on, oh my God, Clubhouse. I think it was on Clubhouse, literally.
Oh, really?
I'm almost certain.
Okay.
I'm almost certain when there was that really cool year when everybody got to talk to each other. I'm pretty sure that's when I met you. And again, Marianne said it earlier. It's all about being an early adopter. And yeah, Clubhouse is not really a thing anymore for most of us, but I got to meet a lot of really cool people and actually have some original conversations. I didn't know who you were before that. Then I learned who you were. Then I started following you. I saw the amazing things you're doing. So I'm appreciative that you're here today. You're a perfect first guest. And we definitely appreciate you riding this little wave with us as we, build the plane as we're flying it. I mean, are we even in the air? I mean, I think we're in the air.
We're cruising altitude. Yeah. Cruising altitude.
I think it's more like diving off the diving board and putting water in the pool on the way down.
Oh my gosh, that just gave me so much anxiety. Like, oh my gosh.
No, seriously though, it's been an honor. Thank you both so much. I just support and love you both. You're just amazing creators. I knew that, by joining with you guys on this show, it would be an amazing roller coaster ride of fun, but also value. I think we all got better today. So I really do appreciate you guys having me on for this. And I wish I had my shades.
That's it right there. She's too cool. She's got the shades on. Everyone, we appreciate you. Like, subscribe, do all the things that those algorithms tell us to do, but we'll see you next time. We out.